Welcome, everybody, to a very special episode of Reality Derby. I am Marcus James Dixon.
And I'm Denton Davidson, and today we have the winners and runner-up of The Amazing Race.
Yeah, season 38. Can you believe it's 38?
I mean, it's wild, but I mean, I can believe it. It does feel like it's been on forever, and it still hasn't caught up to Survivor, so.
That's true. So, yeah, we have, I mean, a spoiler alert. If you don't know who won, you may want to mute us and then maybe go watch the episode and then come back. The winners, Jag and Jazz. I think very deserving winners, to be honest with you. And Taylor and Kyland, though, I was personally rooting for them. What did you think of that final two, Denton?
I was too, I think it's just because I'm always kind of rooting for an underdog though. So I was rooting for Kylan and Taylor, but as you said, Jake and Jess really did deserve to win. I think they dominated. They were in first or second place for all but two legs, and their worst finish was fifth, and that's when there were still 10 teams left. So I mean, they just kicked everyone's ass. They won a leg when they were U-turned and still won a leg. I mean, there was no competition, and it's fun to talk to them and ask you, like, why are you good at like random games like this? Jake just keeps winning.
Yeah, and the only time that they were in fifth place, that was in Budapest, I believe, when they had trouble getting taxis. And we do ask them about that moment in our interview coming up. What else stuck out to you from Jag and Jazz, what they have to say to us?
I mean, it was just fun kind of hearing their story. They talk about their parents' story. They talk about the cab drivers and just what it's like to sort of live this life that they weren't expecting. And I just think the personal stories are fun to hear. I mean, it's who thinks they're ever gonna win Big Brother and then win the Amazing Race? It's just like he's the only person on the planet that's done it.
It's wild. And we also ask him, what show does he want to do next? It's probably a predictable answer, but it's a fun answer. And, the final challenge was a crossword puzzle that it turned out there were some technical difficulties that you didn't see on TV. So we do talk with Taylor and Kyland about that. And, they're very honest. They open up about how they're not happy with how things went. They were what word did they say to describe it?
Well, I think Kylan said he was pissed, and I think Taylor said it sucked. They're very frank about it. She's like, I'm not doing backflips for getting second place. She wanted to be the first player to win Big Brother and The Amazing Race. But it wasn't that close. So it didn't pan out for them, unfortunately. And they're both going to have more opportunities. I mean, they're both very much in the fight. I mean, I'm pretty sure Taylor's going to be on Traders eventually, and I'm sure Kylan will be back on the challenge, and then who knows what else. I mean, there's lots of opportunities for those two.
Yeah, the editing made it look like it was very close, but it was more like an hour difference, and
Yeah.
maybe that had to do with the technical difficulties, maybe not. So what did you think overall of the season? This was the first time they did a Big Brother spin-off season where everyone, there was at least one team member from Big Brother on each team, except for Taylor and Kyland, who were the only duo from Big Brother.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit ho-hum. Like it was just sort of okay. I think my hopes were high. I think that it struggles to fill out 90-minute episodes, and I think it's easier if you watch it the next day on Paramount Plus, to be honest. It sort of just cuts out a lot of those
Do you
commercials.
fast forward?
A little bit. I mean, that says something. Like it's a little boring in parts. Like you can only watch people like go kart down a cobblestone street for so long. I mean, things like that went on for like 35 minutes. It was like, okay, we get it, move on. Like they're just I think they're trying to match Survivor so they can just do 90 minutes, 90 minutes, and it for me it wasn't working out that way. And I think they should go back to 1 hour episodes personally.
I think this season was fine. The 90-minute episodes don't really bother me, but I agree there needs to be more challenges. Like add an extra challenge for each episode so that you spice things up a little bit and you don't get a 35-minute cobblestone challenge.
It
But
also wasn't close, as we mentioned, and it's one of those like we've seen other seasons where like a team of two men just dominate the whole season, and that sort of happened again, and that's always kind of not exciting to watch.
yeah, and it was, I think Jag and Jazz won 7 legs. And really, as you point out in the interview coming up, they won 8 legs because they gave one away. And also, Tucker and Eric won one, two, three, four legs. So between Jack and Jazz and Tucker and Eric, they won almost every challenge. Or did they win? Did anyone else win a leg?
Only Natalie and her sister because Jag and Jazz gave them one. But like, yeah, going into the finale, Jag and Jazz even mentioned in the episode, like, we're the only team that's won a leg in this finale.
That's wild. The only my issue with the season was the alliances. Like people were going out of their way to help other teams, writing notes on cars so that they would see it. Like at some point, you got to play for yourself. And I
Yeah.
get the alliances, but I feel like they were a detriment to the show. It was less exciting as a viewer.
Yeah, and it was just not that important. Like the Big Brother players took alliances way too seriously. They needed to play as an individual, and it would have been more exciting, but it
Hmm.
is what it is.
Well, I think people came not to watch us then, but to watch the winners and the runners up. So should we go to Jag and Jazz?
Yeah, let's get to it. All right, Jeg and Jazz are the season 38 winners of The Amazing Race. And Jeg, you became the first person ever to win Big Brother and The Amazing Race. So, how does that feel?
Uh, it feels surreal. I mean, it was so amazing to run the amazing race with my brother and to have the journey that we had and the finish that we had at finale yesterday was awesome. So I'm on top of the world right now.
I feel like your journey could be summed up in two words. Let's go. You said
Yeah.
that so many times. We started playing a drinking game. Like every time you say it, take a
Yeah,
shot.
you must have been blacked out. No, I think CBS needed to start bleeping it out every time any team said it.
Yeah.
What's
Uh,
more difficult to win, Big Brother or The Amazing Race? Because The Amazing Race paycheck's a little bigger, but you have to split it in half, right?
mm,
Um, I mean, there's such inherently different games. I felt as though the psychological game of Big Brother was more difficult for me. Like something that I thought was really cool about Amazing Race is that I was there with my brother, right? So I could trust him fully, and you don't get that in the Big Brother house. And so even when things were difficult on the Amazing Race, like we could navigate through it together, which I loved.
mm. So, Jazz, what was it like stepping into the reality TV world for the first time and doing it alongside your brother?
He crushed it.
I mean,
Kind of,
I
yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
People already, whenever we would be in public spaces, thought I was Jag sometimes, right? And so now we're Jazz and Jag
Yeah.
together, right? And I loved my experience because we are so close and being able to share that together. And we had like grown up watching The Amazing Race with our parents too. And then to see ourselves on the screen now was just insane.
And you won seven legs. You arguably could have won eight. You sort of gave one to Natalie and Stephanie. Did the race feel as smooth as it looked for you? Because it looked like a cakewalk, honestly, to viewers watching.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that. No, I mean every single leg was difficult for us. You have to keep your foot on the gas. You have to be super focused all the time. Even navigating from one place to the next is
Mhm.
incredibly stressful because you can mess up at any moment, get lost, and we've seen many teams on the Amazing Race go home because they got lost and took a wrong turn, and now they're behind by however long. So, at no point were we cocky or overconfident or like, oh, look, we got this in the bag. And I think that's probably why we continue to do well on the race.
And you also made history by winning a leg after being U-turned, which has never happened before. Tell us a little bit about that day, the whole voting and the how validating it was to come up, on top after that huge disadvantage.
Yeah, yeah. So we knew that our like niece was being born that
That
day.
day.
And so that for us, that was like our motivation that really pushed us through, right? Family is super important to us. And so to have that motivation and be like, all right, let's keep looking forward, it kept our like mindset very positive. And so we just kept going, kept pushing.
The
That
vote was
U-turn,
crazy.
yeah, that vote was so much fun looking back at it because I was like, dude, that was crazy. So much drama, right? But that was like part of the amazing race. Like you put a bunch of Big Brother people with their loved ones in a U-turn, social U-turn vote, you're
Yeah.
gonna get drama, right? But yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
we
we would have never imagined that when we got U-turned, we were like, let's survive this, right? That's
Yes.
our mindset.
Yeah.
That's probably every team's mindset when they get U-turned. We never expected that we would have taken first,
Yeah.
so that was just a crazy high. Like once we got to Phil and he was like, we were the first team to get there, it was insane for us.
What was your favorite experience or location on the race?
Greece.
Greece was our favorite location for sure.
I'm a Greek mythology.
We're
yeah,
both into Greek mythology.
And then like knowing we get U-turn and we take first that leg. Our niece was born that leg, and like knowing all of that. So, yeah, I think Greece for sure.
And viewers had a strong reaction to the moment in Budapest when you couldn't get a taxi, no matter what you did, until you covered up your turbans and your beards. You handled that moment with such grace. What was it like reliving it, watching it on TV?
Yeah, it's obviously hard to show it in the episode, but we had waited 45 minutes trying to hail down a taxi. And then as soon as we put on our hoods, within 2 minutes, there was a taxi, right? And so then we were like, all right, we're not going to use taxis the rest of this leg. And then we just used public transportation. We ran wherever we went. And to see like the love and support come in, the outpouring amount of it too was just like so touching, right? To see that like people saw that as well, recognize that, right? So it was, we're the type to like honestly just push forward, be resilient, because that isn't, unfortunately, it's not something that like was
like
new, right? Like it's not something that's like that's our first time experiencing something like that, like discrimination, racism, and all of that stuff, right? But in the moment, it was something that was like, oh shoot, it like popped my reality TV bubble, right? Because we felt like, oh, you're kind of protected, you're running the race, you're on a reality TV show, there's cameras, right? But then when that instance happened, it really brought us back to reality of like, oh wow, we are running this race in the real world, and this is what we're gonna face, right? And there was a lot of other things that they didn't show, but I was very appreciative that they did show that moment.
How full circle too then when you get to New York and get that new taxi driver? What was that like for you?
That was awesome for us. We got hyped up because exactly, it was a full circle moment. You know, after what happened in Budapest, and now it's finale, right? It's so the most important leg by far, and we get a Punjabi Sikh taxi driver, so we were really hyped up, and it was so beautiful for us, and we were like the moment we sat in that taxi and we realized he's Punjabi and Sikh, like we were like, dude, I think we might have this in the bag. Like we're like, this is like
we're the first Punjabi Sikh team on there. Our dad used to drive a taxi, right? And it's just like a very full circle.
Like all the stars were aligning. We're like we can't mess
He
this
stuck
up.
with us the entire time. When we were saying it was a 3-person team, it really was. He was watching who would go in after how long they came in,
And
if
just
any
update
teams
us.
were going in, if they were coming out.
Like, oh yeah, a
whole
team went
time.
in like 10 minutes after, you know, or whatever, and like
15 minutes, whatever it was, you know. So it was really a 3-person team.
I can't imagine what his reaction was to watching that episode play out. He must have just felt amazing. So the Amazing Race doesn't usually have celebrities, but you got to meet Cookie Monster and Oscar the Grouch. Talk us through that moment. What was that like?
Yeah.
No, we actually didn't know that we were gonna go to Sesame Street. It was just a random, you know, package that we had to deliver to a random address. So we grab it and we go there, and it says on air.
Yeah.
But we're supposed to just walk into the room, and so it was insane. Like we love Sesame Street. Like yeah, they showed like he was Cookie Monster for Halloween when we were younger, and so that was pretty awesome. That felt like for me a moment to like step away from the Amazing Race partially and just be like a kid and be like, oh my God, this is wild. But we loved it.
Yeah.
What a missed opportunity that you didn't get to say, can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
Now we got to do the Amazing Race again.
You know, you said you talked about your dad. You said you wanted to retire your parents. I mean, are you able to do that? And also, I mean, this probably isn't the dream your parents had for you, but like, what's an interesting turn of events your life has become to win like $1.75 million on reality TV? What are they thinking about this life that you're living?
I mean, they're so incredibly proud of us, right? Like, we wouldn't be here talking to you guys, sitting in front of the screen, if it wasn't for everything that like our parents have sacrificed for us to get to this point, right? Even our family, our community around us. So they're incredibly proud of us. We're just proud to see them so happy to see us, and to be able to share these experiences with them too.
Yeah. It's been, I mean, they've said this to us a lot too. Like they never imagined this for us. And I think like every parent, you want the best for your kids and everything. And so they're just, they're overwhelmingly happy and proud of us. And like, and we're super family oriented. And so everything we do is for our family. So it's a really beautiful experience for us to share.
How close was the end, Matt? Like after you guys finished and were announced the winners, how long after that did Taylor and Kylan show up?
Um,
So I don't know. I think there might have been some technical difficulties for the other teams at the crossword puzzle. So I don't know how long that took, but like we got to the map maybe around like an hour
hour.
or something before the other teams.
It's so much more interesting to watch it when it's like so close, right? And you're like, who's gonna get first? But it was an hour or
hour-ish.
more, we would say, but yeah.
Something around that, yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, you've conquered Big Brother and The Amazing Race. Is there another one you'd like to get out next?
Everybody knows what the next one should be. I mean, I would love to do Survivor next. I think that's the one, like, I'm knocking at their door. That's obviously the next one, the next domino to fall in the stack of shows that I'm doing. And I've done extremely well on better than I thought on Big Brother, better than I thought on Amazing Race. And so I would love to do Survivor next.
I mean, coming in with undefeated, that's a target on your back. So you'd have to, I mean, you'd have
Well,
to
we had a
brace.
target on our back on the Amazing Race when we came in, and
We'll see what happens,
Yeah.
right? So
I was gonna say, like, if you retire now, you retire a winner. What if you play Survivor and you're the first one out?
and then he's the first one out, but he will be again the first Punjabi Sikh
like
survivor.
to us,
Right?
it's important.
There's still, it's just we don't go like we didn't go in on the Amazing Race being like, oh,
The only goal is not winning, right?
Yes.
It's like
it's
representing
representation.
the
It's
community
bigger than just winning, right? And I think that motivation really helped us on the Amazing Race as well, right? And so like just being able to have that platform in and of itself just means so much to us in our community.
Also, I'm not a coward. I don't care about, I'm gonna retire a winner. I could have done that after Big Brother.
Right.
And we did the Amazing Race, you know what I'm saying? So let's run it up.
Taylor and Kylan, you finished in second place on The Amazing Race. And Taylor, you fell just short of being the first person to win Big Brother and The Amazing Race. What were your thoughts for both of you when you ended the race and you arrived at that finish line?
I mean, there's disappointment, of course, when you're this close. You know, you're this close to splitting $1 million. I'm not going to be doing backflips. Like that was the best thing. No, it sucked. You cross that finish line, you see someone already standing there, you're like, okay, like now I got to put on a smiley face. We're the only team, or not the only team, but we're one of only two teams to be eliminated in front of everybody, right? Everybody else got to have a private moment of being eliminated. We were like, all right, we got to do it in front of everybody and celebrate somebody else. Cool, cool, cool. So, those first 10 minutes, you can be happy for your friends and also really, really sad that you lost. So it's like an odd duality of feelings all at once.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I think it was Lauren on the Dance with the Stars season that was just like pissed. Like, what do you mean? I like to do these competition shows because I'm competitive. So it's like, how does it feel? Like I don't know if I hate losing or love winning more. It feels like I might hate losing more. So, which you'd think I'd get used to, but that's how competitive I'm not. So, and then I'm also sitting, in the unique position, unfortunately for myself, but fortunately for my partner, like I don't have another win to fall back on, and so it is a little bit extra that heartbreak. It's just as like, you're like, oh man, like this, especially when we get so close. And I think that in so many ways it was even closer than gets to be shown. So it sucks. It's a rough feeling. And it's also harder because it's like, when you're there and or I'm talking to anybody else from the season, there's only one team that wouldn't want to switch places with us in our placement. And so you want to be aware of that and not seem ungrateful but you also want to have your own experience of how we feel both as partners and as individuals. And so it's a complicated sense of I'm aware long term it's a more positive experience than not. But that's a mental thing and not the emotional thing. The emotions are still pretty hard.
What was that final crossword puzzle like? And in terms of how it was edited and what we saw, could you see or hear them near you? And Jeg told us when we spoke to him, there might have been some technical difficulties for you in getting out of there. I don't know if you can share that, but walk
Yeah.
us through sort of the crossword puzzle debacle.
Like, I want to smile about it because you walk in there. But first of all, I was like, oh, I've been here for a fashion show. I feel so comfortable in this space. And I love crosswords. I love word searches. That is my jam. And so I'm like, the final thing is a giant crossword. And yeah, there's some technical difficulties. We ended up having to get moved from screen 1 to screen 2 to screen 3 over the course of us doing it.
Well, yeah. I mean, we do screen 1 twice, but
Yeah, we do screen 1 twice. We have to reset, go to screen 2, and then reset and go to screen 3. So all of the words we already got done, we basically had to do 1, 2, 3 times all over again on the 4th screen. It wasn't easy dragging the letters. That's why Kyland did them all. Like, it had a very specific touch that you had to do. So it was just like, for two people who have studied relentlessly, like studied every detail, I could still tell you, every city name, sign, the outfits. I was drawing the outfits of what all the greeters were wearing. Like, I knew every detail, and we'd study. And then to get to the crossword, which was like, what's the name of the yellow envelope that you open? I was like, are you kidding me? Like, it's this easy do you think Big Brother people are stupid? Like, we study, we do this. So there was technical difficulties. There was just like the frustration of it feeling really easy when you were ready for something really, really hard in front of you. But at the end of it, it was just like a satisfying thing to finally have the thing that I felt like was a strength of mine, because Kyland is good at a majority of things, and I have a superhero competitor next to me. And I felt like a lot of times I was like, am I carrying my weight at the right times, the right moments? Like, am I getting dragged through this? That was a big fear of mine. And to feel like that was a moment where I could stop up and be an equal partner, it was satisfying that way. I just wish that
yeah, sorry.
things were a little different so we could get it done faster.
No, I mean, I think that also there's definitely there's so many different aspects. Just to the main point, Taylor had this view of herself throughout the race, and we had to keep having conversations about like, hey, like, no, you're not being dragged. Like, you are playing your role. That's what a team is about. Like, it's not for us to do the same things. It's for us to give 100% towards the roles, the parts that we're supposed to play. And so I think that she was making a lot of comparisons very unfairly to herself, as far as like, the amazing abilities that she does have. And like, one of those is those meticulous notes that was annoying that we didn't actually need them. But but just studying so much every single night, like I'm doing, we're doing laundry in the rooms in the hotel, I'm doing laundry and she's going over the notes and studying and then helping quizzing and making flashcards and all the things and all the details. So really stepping up in that role, because we watch all the seasons and we see these difficult tasks, and then we have this finale where we're running errands and we get a taxi that takes us around all day. So it's just like, hey, go here, go here, go here, go here. And so even when we're on our way to that spot where we end up doing the crossword, we're in the car talking to the driver like, yo, okay, because I'm keeping a stopwatch throughout the entire race, every leg, that is like where we're at, how long it takes us, when people leave. I'm taking down notes of all these things, so I know like, okay, we arrive less than 2 minutes, then Jag and Jas at the elevator for the harness, but then the way that the setup is, when they leave, we are held for like 19 and a half minutes. So then we're like, okay, we just lost 20 minutes now, but it's fine. We'll probably have a roadblock. We'll make it up, all these things. And then we arrive at the fashion thing. And I know, I'm like, okay, cool. So we made up 3 minutes here. So now that's why when we were leaving and I'm like, yo, I can smell we're gaining on them, because I already know like we made up 3 minutes in this time. So I'm like, okay, so now we have that gap down to 17 minutes or whatever. We get there as they're pulling off. So that was the big edit, is they were pulled off from the crossword. So we open the envelope and literally is like, on our way there, we're talking to the driver like, hey, we probably need you like 4 more hours, or something, maybe 3 or 4 more hours. Like, it's going to be a long day. We open the envelope and it says like, solve this to get your final clue, heart drop. Because it's like, what do you mean final clue? Like, we made 2 errands and like how, and there's no roadblock, like what's going on? Like the road, like we strategically picked to have my last roadblock available because of the time that I usually made up on the roadblocks. So it was like, oh wow, like this actually is the end. So we're doing, and then add on to that the technical difficulties of a crossword. We're doing it, and they're like, hey, you have to touch it this way. And I was like, no, it's falling. Producer comes out, he tries it. He's like, oh shoot, it doesn't work. Okay, we'll move you this one. We started again. Oh shoot, it doesn't work. And like, it's all right. We're gonna capture that time. So then, yeah. So then we're like, so I think that is all the process. So even in the car, I'm not really talking because I'm like, I have a feeling that, they're not going to get lost in their way to Yankee Stadium in New York. So that is, yeah, you walk out and you see the other team. It's crushing, but it was, all you can do is all you can do, and that's what we were doing.
And Taylor, I remember seeing you taking notes at one of the pit stops. So I'm like, oh, she's thinking ahead. Did you keep that notebook? Do you still have that?
Yeah. Well, we one bagged it, so Kylan still has all the things. He's in New York. I just clearly just moved my apartment. So but yeah, I
Did
remember.
other really big things. I was trying to tell everybody. I was like, God, like she's just talking about moving. She also has one of the craziest, amazing, well-deserved like opportunities ever that you couldn't talk about. Like I was like, yo, even if we won, you should do that instead. Like, and
It's
so
not.
people were like, oh, she's moving. I was like, no, there's much more than that going on. She just can't talk about it yet.
Yeah, it's like it's just not about me. And I think this cast is I love every single person on this cast. Truly, they're amazing. So I don't want to sit here and be like, I have this brand deal and I'm moving, because it's about the people who won. It's about the entire cast getting back together. So I don't want to try to steal the spotlight from like a really joyful time. But to answer your question, yes, I have the notebook. We have the notebook, very detailed purple notebook. We had all of our roadblocks, detours listed out. Like I made like a table of contents and index. Every leg is meticulously noted through. As I'm at every single pit stop, I am drawing and making notes on exactly what the greeters are wearing. I could tell you every color, every hat, every accessory, what words and names and numbers were on every costume. Those were details that I was very, very meticulous about. And even, they don't show it because they were irrelevant, but we're driving to the next location and I take out note cards that I made out of lined paper, lip gloss, and highlighters because I did all the flags and I wrote basically like quiz note cards and I was just studying them. So, like you see these seasons of The Amazing Race, the one that Kim and Penn won, where the difference of, I think it was lollipops from a piñata were colors A through Z, or sorry, A through B or Z through X, like little nuances can be so important, and we were prepared for that. And then, yeah, you get questions like, this is the thing that only one partner does, a roadblock.
Then we had the
Okay.
one, so there was like no thinking on the thing except for the one currency switch that we had to do. And of course that's highlighted. So they're like, oh, okay. They just felt it's like, no, that was about 12 seconds of time. But
If you guys, it was like a all-star season on the Amazing Race for Big Brother, but you two were the only Big Brother duo, where both people who had been on reality TV before. Who from each of your seasons would you have liked to see on the race?
Michael Bruner. Bring him back immediately.
Yeah, we need Michael on maybe the Traders or something.
It looks like Kylan has to think harder about his answer.
I know, because I'm thinking, I'm thinking about everybody. I was like, well, because you already saw two of them, and so I mean, I feel like those would have been people pushed to the top. Outside of them, I mean, Tiffany or Xavier, like and then I had Hannah with me, so yeah, so I was like, wow, we had so many. But yeah, I'm probably Tiffany or Xavier. Like it's very much in their wheelhouse. I mean, depending on who they're partnered with. They're partnered with the. Yeah, it's definitely, that would be fun to. I'm there, and also Tiffany is just fun TV in every scenario. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was such a pleasure watching both of you on The Amazing Race. Even though at the very end, you couldn't pull it out, but we were rooting for you. I think Denton and I can publicly say you were our favorites, and I think a lot of people were rooting for you, actually.
We appreciate everyone that was in our corner, truly. Journey of a lifetime.